Hello, you speakers. I'm Katza.
I'm George.
And I'm Javier.
Guys, should advanced learners continue to use expressions with the word should, or should they learn idioms to give advice? What do you think?
Well, I'm convinced that learners ought to go beyond their comfort zone and experiment and take risks using different phrases, idioms, and phrasal verbs if they are serious about moving up a step in their fluency, thus English proficiency, Katza.
Right. What
Two
about you,
words,
Javier?
guys. Two words for me. Phrasal verbs and idiomatic expressions. You want to be advanced, you gotta hit those two things.
All right.
Sorry.
So,
I
sorry.
said it. I said
Bad news coming over.
it.
So stay tuned. You're learning idioms for giving advice. Welcome to another episode of the You Speak English podcast. Thank you for hitting that play button and subscribing to our podcast channel. Remember, you can download the script for this podcast. The link is in the description box below.
All righty, guys. And guess what? Now we're going to go into one of my favorite parts of this podcast. Most common mistakes advanced learners always make. And I'm going to start with this one, okay? If you don't mind. The first one, and I've heard it several times, and just recently, by the way, is when they say must. I've heard some of them say must to.
That's
I
right.
must to go. I must to do my homework. Okay, I get it. I understand the intention, but don't use the word to. Just say must.
Right.
I must do this. I must do that. I must and the verb.
Mm-hmm.
Drop the to. We don't need the to. All right. Okay, so that's one. Another one, the word should. I'm going to spell it for you guys. SHOULD. I've heard it. Sometimes they say should.
Oh, that's right.
And,
Yes.
reinforcing
Sure.
or trying to pronounce the O
Uh-huh.
and the L, should.
Uh-huh.
You should do exercise. You should go on a diet. I say, yeah, I know. All right. But don't. Just avoid the O and the U and say should.
That's
Not should. All right. So those are the ones I have today, guys. What about you?
All right.
Okay, so I have one, guys. For me, it's poorly used language that we commonly use. Okay, for example, I heard people say, we're role playing the situation in a restaurant, and one of the students will say, "Give me a hamburger without onions, and please don't put the pickles in the hamburger." Now, you might think there's nothing wrong with that, Javier, right? But in real life, we don't say, "Give me a hamburger." When we go to a restaurant, we said, "I'll have the hamburger, no onions, pickles on the side." Isn't that more effective? That's the way we really use
Yeah.
expressions, idiomatic expressions, formulaic language.
Yeah.
So
The other
look
one's
out for
like
that.
pretty
Look out
technical.
for that, guys. A teacher might tell you, like, that sounds good. Let's move on. It's good, but it's not advanced.
Right. You're right.
All
I
right.
agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree or
Totally
I am
agree.
agree.
I am agree. That's a fancy word.
Oh, that's
formulaic language.
Mhm. Well, we're fancy here, George. Yeah,
I know. That's
Super
what makes us
fancy.
different.
Wearing the
there you go,
poker and
right?
everything.
Oh, look,
Yeah.
words are fancy here, guys. We just want you to know that we know what we're talking about. Okay, we got years of teaching under our belt, all three of us. Lots and lots of years. We're not helping you to be teachers. I hope you don't want to be teachers. We don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, why
But
not?
we
What's wrong?
we
It's
have
great being
fun.
a
We have
teacher.
fun. I'll tell you that much. We're never gonna be rich.
We do have
You sound like
a
you
lot of
regret
fun.
it. It's fun. It's the best thing.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
It is.
it's my injury. It's my knee injury. Stop, football injury stopped me from going pro. But and then I started teaching.
Mm,
But no,
yeah.
believe it or not, this is a very fun job. But you have to be well prepared. If you're going to be a teacher, do the right thing and
Yeah.
get educated, please.
Oh yes.
All right.
Oh,
Okay. So
yes.
what do you got for us?
Okay. So is it correct to say how are you this week? Or how have you been doing this week?
Oh, that sounds more like formulaic the way we normally say it, right?
That
Yeah.
sounds. The second one sounds better.
Depends on what you're trying to say. Like, how am I this week? Why
exactly.
would I be different? But how you doing is like, okay, you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Exactly. So we have you all as advanced learners have to push for the use of perfect tenses when talking about events happening during unfinished time. the week is always unfinished time.
Hmm?
Even though it'll get to Sunday
Sunday.
evening and hit the 12 o'clock, it will finish,
Yeah.
but every time you ask, it's unfinished time.
Right.
So remember, in English, context is king, and one of the main parts of context is the moment of speaking.
Okay.
Totally. Plus,
Yeah.
you're
Interesting.
you're taking the easy way out. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier to say how are you this week as opposed to how have you been. Yeah, don't be
Exactly.
lazy.
Don't be lazy. It's just 3 more words.
Come
Come
on.
on.
How you been, Javier? How's it going?
So far so good.
All righty. Good to
See,
hear.
doesn't that sound more like natural English?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well,
Yeah,
I
it
know
does.
what George is trying to tell me. He's just greeting me. How you been? Well,
Mhm.
so far so good. I've been doing great.
That's
Don't
right.
try to get away, get out of your comfort zone, and don't just say I'm fine, thank you, and you. Yeah, you could do better than that.
That's
Yeah,
right. I
totally.
agree.
Totally. All right, guys. Well, guess
Okay.
what?
And guess now we go to my favorite section, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
cosas en español que no tenemos en inglés.
Ajá.
Casa, hit
That's
me.
right. All right. Me siento mal. Now,
¿Por qué?
literally, this expression would be like saying to sit badly. I'm sitting badly, right?
Well, sit up.
But oh, sit up. Exactly. But this in Spanish is not related to sitting. Okay.
Oh,
It's actually related to not feeling very well in terms of health or emotional state.
Oh,
Now, the equivalent in English would be I feel a little bit under the weather, meaning I feel a little sick.
like you're getting sick, right?
Like you're
Oh.
about to really get sick. Like
Okay.
you're starting
Bummer.
with the flu or something like that, feeling under the weather, but me siento mal is like I sit badly or I sit bad. It's not
Me
working.
siento,
It just doesn't
me
work.
siento mal. Me siento de la patada.
I
Okay.
feel-
Exactly.
Okay, I have one for you guys, and this is something that I watched when I was a kid. I watched TV in Spanish when I was a kid, and people would say "Estamos de manteles largos," which means like we are using our long tablecloths.
Mhm.
It's an expression meaning that we are hosting a great event or we have a great guest tonight. So we're showing off our best Sunday clothes.
Right.
It's an expression that was still used every now and then in Spanish, and I just
Mhm.
cannot, for the sake of me, find a good translation for it. So I'm assuming it does not exist in English. If anybody knows, let us know, please. Especially if you're on
Yeah.
YouTube, give us some comments there.
Right. Yes. Please
All right.
comment.
Okay. That's
How about
George, what about
George?
you?
All right. Okay, good. I got one.
Uh,
Have you guys heard the word chambear or chamba?
yeah,
yes.
chambitas.
Yes.
All right. Okay, good. It's well, the meaning in English is work. Okay.
Ah,
So, but the origin of this word is pretty interesting. It's a word that we use in Spanish, but did you guys know that the origin of the word is in the United States? It's not even in Mexico.
oh wow.
No
Yeah,
way.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I looked it up, and it's the origin of the word chambear dates back to the 40s when Mexico and the U.S. made a temporary agreement for workers from here to go to the United States to work days, to work days on the fields
Mm.
due to
Okay.
the shortage of men due to World War II.
All
Now,
right.
these workers, also called braceros, went to the
Mm.
chambers of commerce. Listen to what I'm saying. Chambers. CHAMBERS. Okay, so you see the relation, right? To
Yeah.
renew their contract, and since most of them did not speak English, they said we're going to chamber or chamber or la chamber, and that's how it went all the way to chambear. Instead of saying chamber, they couldn't pronounce it right. So little by little, the word was deformed until it became chambear.
Oh,
That
that's
which
so
is work.
interesting.
Nice.
That's amazing.
So basically, it's not even a word in Spanish. It's like more like Spanglish word, or
Yeah, it's
Oh
the origin of this word, the Chamber of
Exactly
Commerce. Chambear.
It reminds me of the time I lived in the States, and my friends I used to go out and go to yard sales, and and they would call it yardear. So it's basically
Oh.
like an element of it's like a sort of a Spanglish kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chambear. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
That
Great,
is
great
so
anecdote, George.
interesting.
Thank you. That was
Thank you,
very
George.
good. Very good,
That
George.
was great. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
All right. To the main topic. So, idioms to give advice. Now, let's remind our audience what an idiom is. And also, I'd like to remind you guys about context. You have to remember about what context are we going to be using these idioms in. And for sure, you have to know the meaning. Knowing the meaning of an idiom is really, really important.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
George, can you explain again what's an idiom?
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Please.
The official definition of idiom is an idiom is an expression that should not be understood by the meanings of its separate words, but should be interpreted from its use and context. Idioms are metaphors.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I like
Yeah.
the definition. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's learn a few idioms to give
right.
advice.
Good.
So make sure you have your pen and paper to jot this down. Okay. You
Jot
got-
this down.
jot
What
this
is jot down?
down.
What is jot down?
Jot down.
Uh-huh.
To write it down. To write it down.
Oh.
To jot it down.
Is
Jot
that
it
a
down.
phrasal verb?
That's a phrase. That is a phrasal verb, and this is
Ah.
considered advanced
Jot
vocabulary.
it down, guys.
Jot it down, guys.
Jot
Everybody.
it down. Jot it down. I don't see you jotting down anything, guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna
How do you
forget-
spell jot down, Javier?
Okay, it would be JOT and then down DOWN.
Hmm,
So jot
interesting.
this
Jot it
down.
down.
Jot it down.
Jot it down, everybody.
Jot it. Jot it. Jot it.
All
Jot it
right.
down.
All right.
Okay, so the first one would be, and I'm going to be easy on you guys because I'm going to give you the idiomatic expression and I'm going to give you options to tell me what you think it means.
All
Ready?
right.
Number
Yes.
one, the expression is Rome wasn't built in a day. What do you think this kind of idiom means, Katza? Let me give you a few options. A, ask someone to be patient. B, focus on the important aspect of a project. Or C, ask for directions to Rome.
Mm. I would like to give our audience a couple seconds to think about this before I give out my answer.
Okay.
Yes, it's ask someone to be patient.
Yeah. So if somebody's really like hectic, they're stressed out and say, well, Katza, relax. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's right. Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Let's practice a little dialogue, Katza, just to show him, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. So, hey, Katza, I've been working on this report all day and only wrote 3 pages.
Well, George, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys. So I got one for you. Okay.
All right.
Don't bite off more than you can chew. Javier, what does this idiom mean? 3 options.
Okay, give me 3
A,
options because I have no idea.
Eating more than you should.
Uh-huh.
B, behaving rudely. And C, trying to achieve more than you are able to.
Well, let's give our audience 5 seconds before I answer. Ready?
5, 4, 3,
Ding.
2.
1. Okay, so I think it's letter C, George. Trying to achieve more than you're able to.
Yeah.
Very good. 2 points for you. You are right. Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So the advice here would be don't try to take on more work or a bigger task than you can handle. All right. Example, Anne is exhausted again. She's always biting off more than she can chew. She's always, in other words, she's always trying to do more things than what she really can handle.
This
Come on,
sounds
Anne.
so familiar.
Come on, Anne, relax.
on,
Rome wasn't built in a day, Anne, okay? Relax.
All right, very good. I got the last one for the day. So this one actually we have an equivalent in Spanish, and I'm going to say it in English first, and then you see if after the description you guys can figure out which one is it.
Okay.
All right. So a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. George, what do you think it means? A small bird in the hand is better than a pigeon on the roof. B, a bird in the hand is worth 100 in the sky. C, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh,
5,
that's
4,
hard, Katza.
3, 2, 1. Ding. What do you think it is?
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm gonna take a guess here, and it could be a small bird in the hand is better than a pigeon on the roof or other
Uh-huh.
birds,
Or
Yes,
somewhere
that's
else, you
right.
know.
or somewhere
Yes, or
else.
All
somewhere
right.
else.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this means it's better to have something less valuable that you can have right here in your hand.
Physically. Uh-huh.
Yeah, physically, than to pursue something more valuable that you may never get.
Mm.
Right?
Nice one.
Yeah. So we have
An example.
have a little dialogue.
Okay, let's
Let's have a
see.
little dialogue.
Hey George, a buyer has offered me to buy my car for 30,000 cash. What do you think?
30,000.
30,000?
Yeah, well, you haven't seen my car, that's why.
Oh God, that's a nice. It's got to
Is
be
that
a great
Tesla
car.
or-
Uh-huh.
Well, Javier, someone else might pay more, but a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So go for it.
All right. I think I will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that because that car could be worth 50,000, but this guy, if he's got the cash, just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could probably sell for more. You know, I put a lot of
I
money into
know,
that car.
totally.
Come on. I'm not doing less than 30, okay?
All right. All right, guys, let's wrap things up.
All right. So,
All right.
George, what do you think?
Well, it's almost Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. No, look at our background.
Did you notice
You
by our
guys-
background? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That?
Exactly.
I just noticed our background. Oh, wow. It's almost Christmas time. Darn it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope our audience enjoyed it a lot. Thank you very much for listening to us, and until next time.
Okay,
right.
so I'd like to say that it's been fun. We have been doing what, a year, guys? A year's worth of podcast, basically.
Yes.
A year's worth.
Almost.
Wow.
Almost a year.
Almost a
Mhm.
year. Wow, it's a
Yeah.
long ride. It's a long ride. It's been fun all the way. I have to admit it. Don't miss us next week because it's our season finale for our You Speak podcast.
Yes. Next week is our last season's episode. And then we're going to come back in January and we're going to be like reloaded.
Woo!
New and improved.
Yeah. Okay. This is it for today. Thank you to all of our audience out there. And remember to subscribe to our channel. If you like this podcast, please share it with all your friends. You should also check out our YouTube channel where you can get this podcast video version, of course. You are more than welcome to comment on our videos. You can also visit our website where you will find articles about English practice and learning. And remember,
Perfect practice.
Makes perfect.
all right, until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.